Hi everyone, hopefully you're doing well. PSG's just dropped the fourth goal on Inter Milan here, and if the Champions League final wasn't officially over, it's definitely over. Uh, Pleasure to be with you this evening. Grandslam track, watch along. We're gonna spend some time unpacking what we see. Hopefully, it's a good Grandslam track. It's just looking at one of my screens here, where a bunch of people are filing into Franklin Field, the oldest college stadium in the United States for football, and a special place for track and field, notably the Penn Relays. An oddly shaped track, as you will notice when you see the athletes in the 400 meters and so on. Uh, the I have a video on that if in case you're interested. But yeah, we'll be doing a watch along here. Lots to talk about too when it comes to track and field. This morning, Kip Keino Classic. We got a sub 44 there from Nene in the 400 meters. Yesterday was the continental tour in Poland, where good performance there also from Weru from Switzerland, running a 157. So tons of stuff, field events going on as well around the world. Christian Che again in the 72-meter club for, what is it, maybe 3-4 times already for this season. And yeah, so I'm excited to see what comes up. The first thing on track here at Grand Slam in about under 3 minutes or so will be the women's long hurdles. That should be interesting. As you know, Sydney McLaughlin isn't running that this Grand Slam. She's switched up a bit, but it should be exciting. Anna Cockrell is in the mix. Really want to see what we get from her. The likes of Rochelle Clayton, Little, Jasmine Jones, Knight from Jamaica, the swan song for Dalia Mohammed, who is capping off a wonderful career. And yeah, and that should be interesting. I think Lee Nielsen too from Great Britain should be in the mix. Not quite sure how fast we'll get here. It certainly won't be getting any times, I don't think, close to what Sydney did a few weeks ago, and also what Femke Bowl opened up with. What was it last week? A really fabulous performance there from Femke to deliver a 52 clocking her fastest opening time for a season, or season opener rather. So yeah, I'm here, want to watch this. You join in. I'm also kind of eyeing the Champions League a bit here. It's a shellacking, if you want to put it that way. Here, Inter fan is in tears. He's inconsolable at the moment. It's a tough thing to get to the final of a Champions League and not to be competitive in the final at all. PSG all over them all day. But yeah, the first track action should be coming up soon. We'll be I'm intrigued to see what we get there. And yeah, don't forget to drop your comments in, your thoughts. Let me know what's up. If you've been enjoying the track and field, if you watched this morning the Kip Keino Classic, I watched it. I was also walking and doing a little thing as well, but I caught some of it. But it's pretty decent Kip Keino Classic. Not the best performances that you would see. There's also the Stockholm Marathon this morning too. I did get up and watch a bit of that, which is a bit wild. But as I like to say, when it comes to track and field, I'm gloriously indiscriminating. I basically watch anything. So yeah. But yeah, hopefully you guys are all doing well and having a good Saturday so far, or if it's wherever you are, it could be early morning depending on where you are. So looking forward for this Grand Slam track. Interesting stadium, as I mentioned before. As many of you would have known, the Franklin Field is, because of its age, you will see a big metal barrier in the middle of the track. And so the true 400-meter lane at Franklin Field is lane 4 and not lane 1 on standard tracks. And that is a result of the expansion of the stadium that started in 1951. And then there's a major revision again by 2015. And if you watch Penn relays, you often see athletes getting tripped up. When you see the 4x4 relay, you see athletes cutting in and cutting out, which is not usually what you will see at major games. So the athletes are on the track right now, and we'll get a chance to see what you get. Sizable crowd, it looks like, at Franklin Field. Yeah, looked like a good, decent turnout at the bottom level. As I mentioned in my last couple of lives, it would be good if they could fill the bottom half of Franklin Field. There's no expectation you could go up on the top level, but if you can get the entire bottom part of the stadium or the first layer of the stadium filled, then that would have been neat. That would be neat. So far, the the side against the wall itself looks like a sizable crowd there. So maybe probably bet this could be the best turnout so far for Grand Slam track. I mean, I have to see the other side. The other side didn't look as if there's a lot of folks there, but but there's a bunch of people here. You wouldn't anticipate people going on the top of Franklin Field. Even Penn relays struggle in the last how many years to get people up there en masse. So yeah. So again, the world lead for this is from the great Sidney McLaughlin, who is not running the 400-meter hurdles at this slam. I don't suspect anybody will go close to this. We'll have to see what we get from. I'm intrigued to see what we get from Anna Cockrell. I think earlier this year she had a 53.84, but for many of these athletes, they haven't touched anything that it's close to 52 seconds as yet. So we might get a mid 53s potentially if Cockrell is in great shape. One could anticipate her going sub 53, but I would doubt it. I'm not quite sure. Yeah. 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 So right. So you already see the weird quirkiness of the track if it's your first time watching stuff at Franklin Field. Comments in the thing. What's going on? Shamar, how are you doing? I'm doing well. I watching football or association football, soccer, watching track and field. Been watching all day and yesterday as well, and intrigued to see what we get here at this first race here. So it's like a clean start. Looks like a bunch of athletes behind lane one. Yeah, that second part of the stadium is totally empty. I would avoid doing that kind of overhead shot. Yeah. It looks like Mohammed in the lead, it seems like. But Clayton now looks like she's stepping. Not quite sure what Anna Crockett is doing there. It looks like it's Knight and Clayton. But it's hard to say. Little is out of the race. Gone. Mohammed is coming. Anna Crockett is stepping as well. Rochelle Clayton is trying, but I think Anna Crockett is opening up on them right now. She's going to pull away and win this comfortably, it seems like. Could be a season best performance for her. Well, no, it's not. It's a 54.04. Not a great time. The conditions are probably under 70 degrees there. There's some rain earlier in Philadelphia. So gotta wait for this result to come up. But 54.04. So so this is is this a season best for her? Because I'm trying to think if she ran earlier this season. I have to check again. I thought she ran earlier this year in Baton Rouge, but I could be wrong. Jasmine Jones coming in second. Knight from Jamaica third. Mohammed. Clayton there fading somewhat at the end. Interesting. Yeah. That's a kind of slow motion here. Yeah. Yeah. Comfortable win for Anna Cockrell. Surprise silver medalist for me last year. I initially thought at Paris Olympics it would have been Sydney Femke Ball, and then there's a bunch of athletes in the mix I had, including Anna Cockrell, but I couldn't have said that I would anticipate that she would get on the podium. But when I had her as one of those athletes to get on the podium, but in a bronze medal position, and she stepped up big time. So, first run there for Anna at the Grand Slam, 54.04, quite comfortable ahead of Jones and Knight. Yeah, interesting run. Yeah. I'm not quite sure what happened to Shamar Little, but hopefully it's not too serious. We've seen recently a bunch of athletes struggling a bit with injury, a few from Grand Slam in particular too. And you never like to see that, although it's part of the sport. Yeah. We should, next up on the track, I think, is men's 400 meter hurdles. And I think it's going to be a walk in the park for DeSantis. He's been the outstanding athlete of the season, and I think it will continue that way. I don't anticipate him getting much challenge here. If he does, he might be able to. He should be able to shrug that off. Fastest time in the world this year, obviously, still with Karsten Varham at, I think, was it 47.27 or something like that, or 28, if my memory serves me correctly. But some good times as well for DeSantis, who I think should be in great shape. Didn't run as fast as the last slam. It looked really good in Jamaica, but you have to manage the season. So, likes of him, comfortable, I think, in terms of what you might get for a medal outdoors this year. So, yeah. Really interesting guys there too in the men's 400 meter hurdles across the board. The Nigerian kid has been running really well this season for Bela. He's showing up. He was a semifinalist in Paris last year, and twice Nigeria record holder in 1 year. So he broke the record a couple of times. So I think maybe a couple guys may start to come into the mix in terms of what you might anticipate for good times, but it's still Varham ahead of everyone else this season so far, then DeSantis and Ezekiel Nathaniel from Nigeria. It's another goal there for PSG. I didn't see what the build up. It's 5. It's a humiliation there for Inter Milan, and they would not like that. So a couple guys already on the 48 seconds for the year, like 3 guys, and let's see what we get here. Yeah. Five 0 in Champions League final is certainly not what you want to see. That's really embarrassing. But kudos to PSG, and with all that money they spent in sport, they finally reached the mountaintop. Yeah. Yeah, so I thought some good stuff happened today. I don't know if you guys enjoyed what you saw at the... First of all, shout out to Christian Che. 72 meters, 36, ridiculous throwing. He's been, as I said, in the 72 meter club a number of times. Nene today for me was also spectacular. Obviously at altitude too, running a 43.74. So that's the fastest time in the world this year over 400 meters. Joins the 43 club along with Jacob Pattison as well, who's also done that for the season. Yeah. Big throws also we got from Katzberg, was back in the hammer throw today. So big world lead there at 82 meters 73. So that was just some interesting stuff at the thing today, if you want to talk about it. Also surprised, I would also say, from Kennedy from Australia. He's been running fairly decent into a headwind, obviously altitude as well, going sub 10 seconds 998 to hold off the likes of Walaza and Omaniala in front of his home crowd. Couldn't deliver uh, the way you would think. And also McCoy, as I've been talking about her last few weeks, been running fairly well there for McCoy in terms of winning. Not a fantastic time today, but good stuff. Yeah. So yeah, those are some interesting things I saw today at the Kipkino Classic. I thought Serum also ran well in the steeplechase as well. And yeah, just a quick shot here of Asini Wilson here from Jamaica. So in the men's 400-meter hurdles. So a bunch of people coming through in the stadium, it looks like. So we'll see. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe a bunch of people are still watching the history in the making here. The largest margin for Champions League or the All European Cup final. You know, it's bad. Anyway, the guys are in the blocks. Good shot here of Alison dos Santos. Likes of Caleb Dean is there as well. Trevor Bassett. Let's see what we get. So clean start. Looks like dos Santos already in the lead. Ooh, it looks like he's hitting a hurdle here. It's hard to see from the overhead shot. But dos Santos is now stepping up on beating the stagger on the guys in front of him here. I think he's taking control of this race. Robinson also running well too. I think that's Caleb Dean in the front there, but who dos Santos has to run hard now on the curve, but he has enough. He's motoring away, and Alison dos Santos is going to comfortably take this. It's going to be about 48 seconds, so 48:11. Yeah, 48:11 for Alison dos Santos. So not a fabulous time by his standards. He's a 46 guy on his day, but maybe the conditions in Philadelphia is not great for fantastic running. They had some bad weather. Well, not necessarily bad weather, but some rainy weather earlier, and it's not warm either. So the Santos, they're literally undressing on the track. I'm not sure why, but 48:11 for Alison dos Santos ahead of Trevor Bassett 48:25, Chris Robinson 48:76, and Dean 49:48. So you could see some remnants of wetness on the track. So it probably just rained maybe an hour or two earlier. Yeah, I mean, there's not much to break down there. I don't think DeSantis started off well. It's hard to tell. I'll have to see it again. It looked like he may have touched a hurdle when we saw the overhead shot, but he's class of the field, and what that meant is he just had to come through and win this. It's certainly the way Grand Slam is structured. It's not necessarily time. It's definitely your position and points. So he's probably gonna save his run for the flat 400 meters that he has to run tomorrow, and a curtail Grand Slam track over 2 days may also make athletes become much more conservative in how well they run, because the rest period is certainly shortened. Shot there of Cole Hocker. Not Well, that's not Cole Haka. Sorry that. Yeah. All right, I'll change this. The end of the Champions League. I don't really want to see anybody raising a trophy, but yeah, congratulations to PSG. All right, so yeah, next on the track I think is men's 800 meters. So you should, yeah, Cole Hocker is there. I think. Sorry, it was Cole Hocker. Josh Kerr is in the mix. I think Nagoose should be there. Elliot Giles, the Brit, who's been running fairly good this season. The 800 meter for the year is certainly Masalele from Botswana. He's been having a fabulous season. So much so, faced stiff competition from Wanyoni last week and outclassed him. So, men's 800 meters in a really good space. If I'm being honest with you, I think, and we haven't seen the likes of Sedrati yet for the season. I'm not quite sure if he's injured. I haven't checked up on that. Marco Arop is around. I never want to call a world record, but I think we are getting to that stage. And certainly after what we saw from Wanyoni last year in Kenya in altitude, what would have probably been the world record if it was at sea level or so. He for sure is in the mix there. I think the David Rudisha record could go at some point. But the standard athlete for sure is Masalele, not here today. Josh Howe did a fabulous run earlier this year as well, when he did at 143. Bryce Hoppel 143 as well. Today, I think in the USA athlete to Koech ran fabulously well, 143.32. So I like what I'm seeing from the men's 800 meters. Hi, Paulette. Let me see. I think that's coming up at, let me give you that, the 6:22. So that's the 100-meter hurdles is the last thing for the day. And so 6:22 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah. And the 110 hurdles will be just before that. Yeah. 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 You're welcome. You got Cole Haka here. So Nagoose is here. I think he's done a 144 this season. Kerr, Marco are up to already with a 143 this season as well from the Myanmar Grandslam. And then it's good to see Josh Howe here for sure. Yeah. He had a fabulous indoor season. And then there's a shot here of Elliot Giles. And then Hobbs Kessler is that Hobbs Kessler? It looks like that, yeah. Yeah. Hobbs Kessler. So this should be a really good 800 meters. The conditions are good. Well, they're okay. Maybe a little bit warmer they would like, but not too bad. All right, so it's a clean start there. So it's kind of hard to tell right now. Guys are cutting in and cutting out now. It looks like Arop in the lead. So Arop is kind of taking a little bit dominance there. There's also, I think that's Josh Howie and Hob Kessler in the mix as well. Nagus kind of hanging around there. More of a 15 guy, obviously. He's probably just trying to hang with these 800-meter guys. But I think Arop here, if he's going to try to win the slam, he has to kind of push these guys. Just about 152, not 152, 52.11 or so on the first 800. So this probably won't be that quick. This might be a 144, 145 race unless they step up the pace right now. Yeah. So Arap is now stretching them a bit. He's moving. And Howie's trying to come with him. And you know, Howie has a good kick as well. We saw that earlier this season. But it looks like it's going to be Marker up. He may surprise us and run something super. Howie's coming, but he doesn't have enough in it. It's like a 50-meter lead now, or it's going to be quicker than I thought. It's going to be a 143. 143.35. Whoa. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous because coming around at 152 and change, I thought this was going to be a 144 and something. And this guy just stepped up again. Marco up, the big Canadian. You know, some days you look at him, you're not quite sure he's an 800-meter athlete. Really muscular. A couple times you kind of think he has a David Rudisha stride pattern. Not always, but a little bit. And lovely run there for him. 143.38. That is a fabulous time, given how they navigated the first run. That would, that's still a top 10 time for the year, I think. Yeah, that's like top 8 time for the year. He opened up on them somewhat. Howie also running fairly well, 144, trying to stay with our up, but had nothing. And Nagus there picking up the third place ahead of Kessler, 145.36 to 145.60. Yeah, if you're in Nagus right there, you're saying to yourself, you come back tomorrow, maybe you can put on a show. Who knows? He might be able to win this. Yeah. Very nice here. Cole Haka all the way down there at 145.81. It's not what you want to see. Something might be off. But I suspect he will come better tomorrow. All right, everyone, how you doing? So yeah, that's so what? 3 races already for the day, 2 400-meter hurdles, and the first 800 meters for the day. Pretty good. Pretty good running there. I think what's up next? The 200-meter short sprints comes up next. That should be fabulous run there. We're gonna get Kristen Miller, Kristen Coleman as well. First time we're gonna get to see him here at the Grand Slam. He hasn't been looking fabulous. I saw a couple races from him. The Nigerian there's there. Udodi there is in the mix. Brian Lever from Jamaica. Andre Gergas, the Olympic champion from Tokyo. Zarnell Hughes having a good season himself. And then obviously Kung Fu Kenny Bednarak, most consistent sprinter so far. And Aaron Brown from Canada. Honestly, I can't see anybody challenging Kenny. Kenny has been fabulous all season. No one has been close to him. He's in fabulous shape. I think he has a lot to accomplish this year, and you wouldn't put it past him to be in the mix for medals in both the one and the two. Not saying he'll definitely medals for two for sure. I think Kenny's good for the one. That could be a challenge, but I also think I wouldn't put it past Kung Fu Kenny to surprise a few people. But he's been having a great season, quite speedy so far. Again, this is a long season. Who knows what we'll get? But Kenny already with a 1984 from Myanmar. Not quite sure he'll run that fast tonight, but we'll wait to see. Decent crowd there at Franklin Field. The capacity is like, I think, just short of 53,000. Depends on the configuration. Nothing quite close to that. I don't think we would have anticipated that anyway. It's very difficult to put that amount of people in Franklin Field. No one is on the top level. The side towards the brick wall, it seems pretty full. As you start to go around, not so much, a lot of space there. And a bunch of people in their ponchos, so they knew rain was coming. My wife was saying to me today, why aren't we in Philadelphia? I was like, well, I'm not quite sure I know the answer to that. Maybe I know, but I didn't say. Right. So 200 meters next on track. As you know, there's always a big lull in Grand Slam. They don't go right away. Just a couple starting warm-up starts here from Kung Fu Kenny. Yeah. Yesterday we had that kid from that ran the 1983 Mars at Tamars, or however you pronounce it. But prior to that, Kung Fu Kenny had the fastest time in the year, and should be good. All right. What's your guys' thoughts on Grand Slam consolidating to 2 days instead of 3? Shahir of Zarnel Hughes. All right, so Level. Let's see what we get from Brian Level. I think thinking about him it should be a space for him to even try to think about making that Jamaica national team comfortably in the 200 meters. It's not a lot of competition there. He's dipped below 20 seconds before. Something that I would like to see him do much more often and start to get into that space. Good talented kid there from formerly of Erdun Allen. Saw him a lot at champs. Saw him a couple of times at the Penn Relays. He has something in him. Also looking much more of an elite athlete now in terms of his muscular structure and all of that, which can be deceiving, but let's see what we get from him. So Udodi there, Anwizuke, or however you pronounce that. Let's see what you get from him. And Kristen Coleman there. Haven't run a 200 meters for a while, I don't think. I can't remember the last time we saw that, but so Debbie, how you doing? Kristen Miller there, the youngster, saw him on the scene last year. Let's see what you get from him. But all eyes should be on Kung Fu Kenny as usual. This should be an easy run for him. Haven't really gotten any really fabulous times in the 400-meter hurdles so far, or this. I guess fabulous time from Arop in the 800 meters. So let's see if Kung Fu Kenny can step it up a bit. So clean start there. And it looks like Kung Fu Kenny already taking up the stagger. And he's out there. He was just trying to come. Kristen Coleman running decent, but he's going to get left behind. And Kung Fu Kenny is going to run away with this. It's embarrassingly easy for him. 1993 for him. Flash time for Kung Fu Kenny. Round up to 1995. So a sub 20 performance from Kenny Bednarak ahead of Zarnell Hughes. I mean, 2050. Also 2050 for Aaron Brown, Andre DeGrasse 2058. Just waiting on a replay here. Yeah, I mean, Kenny is special here. Kung Fu is just really relaxed there. A lot of high knees, conservative arm movement, and just like almost like a training run for him. Let's see. I mean, it's a massive separation. He's not doing anything here. Kung Fu Kenny's just doing a training run, it seems like to me. The rest of the guys are struggling there to make it up. But when you think about the landscape of where we are now in track and field, Noah Lyles, we have to wait to see what we get from him. He pulled out a couple weeks ago of some meets. Didn't want to risk what potentially was a niggle. Suggested that's not serious. Then we saw last week, let's see, Tobogo. Tobogo ran that 100 meters at the Grand Slam, not the Grand Slam, at the Diamond League in Morocco, and didn't look good. Pulled out of the 200 meters, said he was struggling with some niggles. So those two guys aren't fully fit. Right now, Kung Fu Kenny, I mean, it's still very early, but he's the man to beat. Clearly, we haven't seen Knighton and yet, and there's a bunch of other guys you would think would want to be in the mix, but I think it's certainly, you wouldn't write Kenny off the podium anyway. And now, if he's healthy, and he runs straight into this World Championships in September. Well, first you have to qualify, but you imagine he will. It should be special. Fred ran a 200 meters today, right? Curly ran 200 meters, who obviously should have been here, but because of the bust up in the last Grand Slam, he's out of Grand Slam until they, I guess, his legal case is cleared. He ran in Spain today, ran 2017. So he's been running still, but he was at Diamond League last week as well. So Kung Fu is loving it here, it seems like. I'm just actually watching this race again from Fred Curley today. Didn't run a particularly great curve, but then, picked up the speed on the straight and kind of opened up a bit. All right, so that's the 200 meters there for men. This next on the track is going to be the 200 meters for women short sprint, and so we'll get to see Gabby Thomas, who's been in fabulous shape. Melissa Jefferson Wooden is there. Prandini's in the mix. Dina Asher-Smith. I want to see what we get from Dina today. Celera Barnes, who's, if we're being honest, been having a good season over 1 and 2, trying to run herself in the mix. Davis and Mays as well there. So the money has to be on Gabby. But let's see what we got from Asher-Smith and Jefferson. All right. Trying to see if we missed anything else today, the last couple of days. But lots of track and field coming up next week as well, and right into, I think the Rome Diamond League is coming up soon as well. So we'll be getting lots of track and field all the way into national championships. And then the season ends in September, which still feels like a long way off, but yeah. Yes, Paul. Yeah, Gabby should take this easily. Yeah, I mean, she could get pushed from Asher-Smith, but so far, over 400 meters and 200 meters here at Grand Slam track, Gabby Thomas has been running fabulous times, looking really comfortable. She, like Sydney's, making a move, so she's now in the short sprints this time, Gabby Thomas. Let's see. And Jaden Mays. Interesting kind of attire here from Telva Davis. It's a little leopard or I don't know if that's leopard or whatever that is, animal print. Can never count out Prandini. She always shows up and run a good race. Especially she came off of that plane and got to Jamaica and ran at some really good times to get in the mix for Grand Slam as well. All right, let's see what we get from Gabby Thomas. So I'm thinking it's probably going to be Thomas Asher Smith, unless Asher Smith is going to pull something special tonight, but should be Gabby Thomas. Yeah. Looks like something's not going. The athletes are up. Davis there adjusting her starting blocks. Hmm. Are back in the blocks. Looks like a clean start there. And Asher Smith is running a nice curve, but also is Prandini and Melissa there is running really good over there. But oh, Melissa is like moving away. Oh my God. Gabby's gonna get run out of this. Whew, 21.99 for Jefferson. I didn't see this coming. I mean, she's been running well all season, but I didn't see this coming. Some rain coming down there in Philadelphia as well. But 21.99 for Melissa Jefferson Wooden. Asher Smith got run out as well. Looks like Davis in for third, 22.59. Let's see this again. Again, it's like an optical illusion when you watch a race at Franklin Field because of the kind of weird track it is. But you know, but Gabby could not close. Well, she's closing a bit, but not enough to overtake her. Asher Smith looked like a training run in the end there, like a little bit heavy legs. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, wow, for sure. Paulette. Bit of rain in the eyes. A wet night in Philadelphia. So Jefferson Wooden, 21.99 for her. She must be proud with that. That's a big run for her. And you wouldn't count her out. I suspect she'll win the 100 meters unless something goes awry. But she has to be the favorite for the 100 meters. Melissa Jefferson making sure that she picks up all of these Grand Slam stuff. All right, so that's the sprint stuff there. We're gonna get some women's long distance, 3,000 meters. Then there will be the long sprint, 400 meters for women, and that should be good. Alexis Holmes, Paulina, Nassa, Price from Jamaica, Nielsen from Great Britain, Whitaker, Maudsley, Gabby. That's going to be a good run, I think. I'm excited for that. 3,000 meters should be good as well. Cranny is there. Isa, Garbaslama. A couple of good athletes there. Tei as well. Let's see what we get from that. And also, you're going to get long sprints, 400 meters for men. That should be good. Hudson Smith, Gardner, Jareem Richards, who's been having a good run as well, is there. Samuel Congo, Matt Bowling, Javon Powell. Some interesting athletes there. Then we'll get some 1,500 meters on the short distance for women. I'm intrigued to see that. Jessica Hall in the mix, Weltejde. That might be good. That should be good. Then it ends with the hurdles. Yeah. So a bunch of stuff coming up to kind of end the evening. But 3,000 meters, not sure what we'll get. Obviously, we won't be getting anybody close to 8:11. Beatrice Chebet, as you may have seen last week, smashed the 3,000 meters in a way that pushed her up into number 2 in the all-time list when she ran that 8:11:56, is it, or 57? I have to check. Last week. I don't think anyone's in that kind of shape for sure. Yeah, 8:11:56. No one is in that kind of shape, but maybe if we get something in the 8.5s, we'll see. Conditions are iffy, so hard to make a judgment. All right, so women's 3,000 next, long distance. Let's see. Well, I don't think these women will. This is only one run for the women, obviously, because of the abbreviated calendar for these next two slams, or at least for the Philly Slam here. So there's no 5,000 meters that they had before or anything like that. So 7.5 laps on the track, and we'll see what we get. All right. So yeah, they're introducing athletes and Gentix here. Cranny just got introduced. We'll see what we get. Yeah, so I'm not quite sure what we'll get tonight. I suspect if we can get if we can get at 8:30, that would be decent. I'm not sure if we'll get that. 8:32 would be nice, somewhere around there. I don't anticipate anything in the 18s. The conditions don't look that good, but you never know. So we'll see what we get as it gets closer. All right, so it's like Engent is in the lead right now. So just about what 219. I'm trying to think how I took my head off of it, so I don't know how far they've gone. It's probably this is like 230, 229-ish there. Looks like they passed at 800 meters. That's slow. They're not really pushing this, and they probably should. So 319, they're approaching. Oh, where they're approaching in like 900 meters or more. So yeah, quite slow running right now, guys. To be honest with you. I see Tai is stepping up now. They probably should start pushing this. Maybe they need a pay. They probably needed to hire like some paces for these Grand Slam events. And then there's no wave light here either, so it's not. So a little move there from Elsa Cranny in the inside. So Energetic still Tei, then Cranny, and then I think Isa is like making up a move, kind of moving out there into lane 5 a little bit. So Engage still leading, but it's kind of a pedestrian pace. Another couple, I think about 3 or so laps, a little bit less than 3 laps or so to go. So quite bunched up so far, almost like one of those pacing runs. They need to start pushing. Let's see if we can start to see some movements here. So Engage is just moving a bit. Tire right there. Crane is still in the mix. All right, let's see if we get a sprint. So Josette Andrews here making a move too. This is gonna be really slow. It's probably about 840 or so. Let's see. It's gonna move up now for the final lap right now. So Andrews there, right? Hanging on to Engage here. Let's see. No one is opening up. And Tayu's coming out on the wide. She's going like way over in lane 5 there. And Getish now is moving. It's now her and Tayu. Let's see if we get it. It's gonna be for a sprint right now. Can Tayu overtake her? Let's see. Looks like Engetish is gonna win ahead of Tayu. She's gonna hold her off. Is she? Yeah, Engetish is gonna win this ahead of Tayu. 8:43.57. As I said, it's not particularly good time, but really tactically poor race in the sense from the other athletes, because outkicking Engetish is hard to do. So they needed to take this out a bit faster. Yeah, it's still raining, Paul. What's up, Carvin? Blessings. Yeah. How you doing? Yeah, I think they made a mistake. They're allowing and Jetic should just control the pace like that. All right, so that's the end of the 3,000 meters. The only one we'll get because this is the first time we're getting it at the slam. We're going to move to some long sprints for women and men, and we'll get the 400 meters. So we're going to have Gabby Maudsley, Whitaker, Nielsen, Price, NASA having a great season, Paulina, who came back in the last slam as well, running well, and Alexis Holmes. And so, as you know, NASA is already the fastest time in the world this year, 48.67. Only woman to go sub 49. Paulina has a 49.21, which is the third fastest behind Gabby Thomas, who had a 49.14 in Jamaica. Whitaker also ran a really good time of 49.24. So let's see. Alexis Holmes yet to crack 50 seconds this season. So I think we're getting into that point of the season where athletes should be starting to run a much quicker. So yeah. It look like they're showing the Nielsen twins right here. I'll be back in a second, guys. We'll be back in to watch the 400 meters for women. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Just had to stretch a little bit. Women's 400 meters. Paulina, one of the greats of this generation. Let's see what we get from her. I'm not anticipating a sub 49 tonight. I don't even think we'll get a low 49 either. Who knows? But we haven't been seeing any really fabulous times. There's Alexis Holmes there. This season, she's already gone 50 and change, I think. I'm trying to remember. 50-12. So very close to sub 50. But Paulina there, and then Nasa. Nasa to me has been having a brilliant season. Almost too fast for my liking. She's been running a lot, and but I'm sure they know what they're doing. Price from Jamaica there. Lots of hope on her. Lots of hope for Nikisha Price. Only 50.71 this season so far, but last year obviously running 48 seconds. You know, she needs to get back to that kind of shape soon, leading into the Jamaica National Championships and beyond. And Whitaker, like I have a lot of time for Isabella Whitaker as well. Really, really good this season in the indoor. I think she didn't finish that. I think she just finished indoor season for in college, if I'm not mistaken. And then Mosley there from Ireland, and then Gabby from the Ivory Coast. All right, let's see what we get. So they're in the blocks. It's a clean start. So NASA is running good. She's trying to stake it up onto Paulina, but there's still a little bit of a separation there. Holmes out in running blind. Nikisha Price also running really well too. So it's Price also, I think, but NASA is stepping up now. And Paulina. I think it's NASA, Paulina right now, and probably Price. Who's gonna be NASA off the bend, and Paulina has to step if she's gonna take this. And she's stepping now, and she's like showing her authority. And Paulina's gonna win this ahead of NASA and Price from Jamaica in third. With Whitaker, it looks like 49.12. Big running. I thought, let me take that back, and I apologize, Paulina. You are a superstar. 49.12 in these conditions. Really, really good running. That's pretty good running there. 49.12 ahead of NASA 49.47. And a good run there for Nikisha Price, 50.04. That should be a season best for her. And Whitaker closing in the end 50.16. Yeah. Paulina signing a spike there. Oh, NASA is in the wrong lane here. Oh my. NASA NASA went into. Was she in Price's lane? It looks like. Yeah. Well, as I always say, running Franklin Field is weird. I don't think NASA should have run into trouble here, but it happens. I agree, Paula. That's a good run from Nikisha there too. She's moving in. She's progressing in the right direction there, and hopefully, in another couple of races, she'll start to go sub 50, and it would be great by the time you get to the World Championships that she's going sub 49. I think if you're in sub 49 shape, then you put yourself in the mix for a final and a podium run for sure. You may not get on a podium, but you know what I'm saying. It once if you can start going below 49 seconds, you're putting yourself in elite territory. This year we may get a bunch of women doing that anyway, but it's a competitive space. There's a shot there of Hudson Smith. Looks like Samuel Congo beside him, if I'm not mistaken. It's kind of dark. Next on the track will be the men's long sprints for 400 meters. Oganda, Macrae, Powell, Bowling, Samuel Congo, Richards, the man out of TNT, Hudson Smith, the world champion, and not the world champion, what I'm saying, the silver medalists, and back-to-back silver medalists in a sense, and Stephen Gardner, the tall Bahamian, riddled with injury in the last few years, but certainly a standout performer. If he can get back anywhere close to his best, then he will be again competing for the gold medal. But the question is, can he get back to his best? You know, that's always a challenge when you struggle with a couple of injuries. Yeah, it would be really good for Price. I'd like to see it, and then I think also she has to develop a better body structure at some point. Uh, but it will come, I think. Will come. So yeah, once we get through these 400 meters, then we'll have the short distance for 1500, and so that basically includes the 800-meter women. Mora, Georgie Bell, Cadwell is there, Nia Akins, Jessica Hull. I expect her to do something special. Who knows? Definitely, medal podium for Australia. Nikki Hiltz there, Welteje, very talented athlete, and Wiley. And then we'll end the night with some sprint hurdles. Should be good stuff. Should be good stuff in the sprint hurdles. I think Grandslam brought out high quality athletes here. Cordell Tinch, fastest time of the year, going sub 12:9. Daniel Roberts are there. Freddie Crittenden, good running. Trey Cunningham, also brilliant. I think he may have the second fastest time of the year, if I'm not mistaken, with a 13 flat. I have to check the result. I have to check again. But yeah, Szymanski's there. Sasha Zoy. Where's Sasha Zoy? Is he not there? Did he pull out? Interesting. I guess he did pull out. So 400 meters coming up. This should be really good. How fast? Not quite sure. If they can take some inspiration from Paulina and run something special. Fastest time of the year happened earlier today in Kenya, altitude 43.76 by Nene from South Africa. It was a brilliant run from him. Prior to that, we had Patterson from the last Grand Slam, 43.98. So Hudson Smith on screen already with a 44.37 this season. So Matt Bowling there too. I mean, I always say not quite sure what kind of athlete he should be. Could do everything. Could have done long jump. He could do all sort of different stuff. All right. Samuel Congas, he also has a he, really, really good season last year. Can go sub 44 when at his best. Not sure if we'll get that from him, but yeah. Good to see Jabon Paul there, the big Jamaican there. Fresh, full season for him as a professional. So let's see what you get. And McCray there. And Uganda in lane one. Let's see what we get now in the blocks right now. I want to see if Stephen Gardner can do something. He's when he's in form, he's hard to beat. It's a clean start there. Looks like Conga Hudson Smith making up the stagger on Gardner. Richards too from Trinidad and Tobago running really really well. So it's pretty much Richards in the lead right now, ahead of Matthew Hudson Smith, who is coming back into it. Matt Bowling running really good too. Uganda looks decent. We'll see when they line up. But Hudson Smith is pushing now. Richards is trying to be comfortable. And McRae is coming. But it's going to be Hudson Smith ahead. I don't know if they're ahead of Richards or McRae. It's hard to see. Looks like McRae ahead of Richards. So 44.51 for Matt Hudson Smith. McRae 45.04 and 45.05 for the man from Trinidad and Tobago, Jareem Richards. Samuel Congo finishing in 45.10. Got to see what Gardner wasn't in it at all. He didn't look comfortable. He wasn't pushing. He was not pushing on the backstretch. Hudson Smith overtook him quite easily. Yeah, probably finishing dead last there. Stephen Gardner. He did 46.88. Not a good look. I'm hoping it's not a serious injury or he just felt uncomfortable, but that's certainly not his type of running. Powell from Jamaica running 46.08. A really, really comfortable performance from Matt Hudson Smith. 44.51. The only guy going sub 45. McRae and Richard separated by 100 of a second there. Not quite sure what happened to Gardner. 46.08. Maybe he just felt tight. Hopefully, it's nothing serious. All right. So, next on the track, we're going to have the 1500 meters for women, the short distance 1500 meters. We'll see. Objectivity, what's going on? You late to the party. No, hey, as they say, better late than never, right? Hope you're having a good day so far. Yeah, next up, women's 1500 meters, short distance. So Miramora, Georgia Bell, Caldwell, Nina Akins, Jess Hull, Welteja, Hiltz, and Wiley. I'm going with Jessica Hull here, but you can't. I'm not sure. Actually, I'll have to think about this. You can never count out Welteja here as well. Yeah. 1500 meters. I think Welteja already has a 358.89, but that was indoors way back in indoors. So I'm not sure what we get from her this time. We'll see. Uh, kind of warming up now, so we'll see what we get. Good guy with big runs this season, but no good guy here. Uh, but we'll just wait to see. It should be a good run. I want to see what you get from Jessica Hull. I think she's probably managing her season in an interesting way as well. Yeah. There's some signs in the crowd here for Hiltz, so I guess there's some fan base or family. Who knows? But again, I am hopefully things take off a Grand Slam at some point. But the challenge is, yet again, there's just not a lot of people in the stands the way you would want. I mean, it's a better crowd here. It seems like we'll wait for official numbers or data on the exact number of people in the crowd. But only one side of Franklin Field has on the bottom level seems to be filled up. The other side pretty empty. So I don't know. Tomorrow it starts an hour earlier, Paul. It starts, I think, at 3:41 tomorrow is the first race on the track. That would be the men's long hurdles, 400 meters, then the women's long hurdles, and yeah, yeah. Lots of sports this weekend. Champions League, big game tonight. Indy Pacers playing the New York Knickerbockers in Indianapolis. I should have gone to that game. Anyway, yeah, let's see what we get tonight. Nikki Hiltz, Jessica Hull, Nina Akins, or Nia rather, Caldwell, Hunter Belmora. Not quite sure what we'll get here. I suspect I'll take anything. I'll take a low 4 minute, like 4 minutes and change, maybe. That would be good. Sub 4 minute would be fabulous. Whether we'll get that on this track in this kind of conditions, not sure. Yeah. All right. Still a little bit of a wet track too. So Welteje already taking it out of Jessica Hull. Let's see what we'll get here. Miramore kind of stepping outside the lane 4 there. She probably needs to get back into the lane. Welteje taking the pace out. Not. Let's see what we get at 400. So Nikki Hill's now trying to find a way in here. So it's like 62 and change, 63 for the first 4. So Welteje is running the pace here. It looks like Jessica Hull just hanging with her. These both of those should be my top 2. The Oda, we'll see. Nikki Hill's also trying to hang with them. And the 800-meter runners, Mora and Nia Akins are in the back there. So Hull takes the lead right now. Just about a half a meter step or a 1-2 step there ahead of Welteje. Let's see if Hull can pick up the pace on this. Let's see, it's like 218, 219 for the first 8, it seems. So we're at what? They're on a push right now, and I think Jessica Hull is trying to push a bit, but Welteje is right there. She's just like hanging with her. Hilt's a bit, maybe at 2-3 meters back, along with Bell. All right, we're getting to the Bell lap now. So Jess Hull just just ahead of Welteje. Welteje stepping as well. It's gonna be a good sprint to the finish. It's gonna be a good race here. Let's see what we get. Will Welteje step out and pass her? Oh, this is really good. These two have like a 20-meter lead on the rest. Let's see, 200 meters left. Can Jess Hull hang on for this? Oh, it's gonna be a sub 4 minute at this rate. She's kicking right now. Welteje is now gonna take a step and pass her with ease. Class from the Ethiopian athlete here. Just pure class. So it's gonna be about 357, 358. That's pretty good. Really, really good running there. So 358.04 for Welteje. Jessica Hull 358.36. Nikki Hill's running a creditable time at 4 minutes 54, ahead of Bell 485. It's pretty good running there. I like what I saw from Jess Hull. Push the pace a bit, try to test Welteje, but not doesn't have enough kick to outrun the Ethiopian, but I was good running there. Two women running under 3:59 in these conditions. Can't really complain. And Weltage, I didn't have it all our way, but ever since Hall took the lead, the Reeby still hung with her, didn't look uncomfortable at any point, and on the stretch just a glided past her and nice running, arms in really good efficiency there. Nothing light work for her in the end. Special talent too. All right, so 2 events left for the night. Yeah, 3:58.04, 3:58.36, 4 minutes flat, 54 flat, 4 minutes 54 rather, 4 minutes 85, and 4:01. Maramora, Nina Aikens didn't finish. That's not good. And 4:25 for the 800 meter runner down there. So athletes are struck. We've lost a couple athletes at the slam already. We'll see. Hopefully, it's not too bad. The evening obviously will close with the women's 100 meter hurdles featuring Megan Tapper from Jamaica, Tia Jones, who ran that fabulous 12:19 right behind Masai Russell in the last slam at 12, who did a 12:17. Kambunji is here. She's all over the place. She's traveling a lot. The Taji there. McLaughlin will run. Levrone will run 100 meter hurdles. That's going to be interesting. Akira Nugent, Danielle Williams, Marshall, and Christina Clemens. That should be a nice race there. Let's see what we get from Sydney. We know Sydney has the quality. How fast she can run, I don't know. You got to work on different stride pattern, but she's done it before. I think if she can run a 12.6 or a 12.7, she'll probably be okay with that. And we haven't seen Tinch in a few weeks, so maybe he went back to training. Let's see what we get there. But both men and women's hurdles, sprint hurdles, really competitive. Ultra competitive is the word, probably. And you think about on any given night in the women, a handful of athletes can take the top spot. So really hard to call. At least not. It's hard to do confidently. But we'll see what we get. We're looking at a bunch of women so far that ran some fabulous times this year. 2 quickest times of the year. Legal limit above were from Russell and Jones. 12:17, 12:19 there in Florida. 2.0 wind. Can't get much more help than that. That's the maximum allowed. But Akira Nugent already with a 12:34. Kenny running really well as well. She had a 12:40. She also ran really good in Atlanta, right? If my memory serves me correctly, she was looking good there as well. And yeah, so Toby Amazon last week too in Doha, running a 12:45. Good to see her. Grace Stark having a great season. So when you think about the women on any given night, it's fabulous. And I think we saw recently Camacho Quinn saying she's back in training after a bit of a layoff. So hopefully we get to see her on the track. And Danielle Williams from Jamaica too. You can never count her out. So it's too competitive. On the men's side too, it's been good, even without Grant Holloway running much this year because of injury. But Tinch, Daniel Roberts been running well. Yeah, Trey Cunningham looked really good recently. So yeah, even Sasha Joya ran well recently too. So a bunch of guys in the low 13 so far this year. The Japanese kid Murataki. I think we are gonna end up in a situation again this year where a bunch of guys will run really well. Hopefully, as long as people are injury free by the time we get to the championship. All right, so a couple more races. And we will be out for the night. All right. Ah, Simonelli is here. Pretty good athlete. Crittenden. Daniel Roberts usually gets out well too. Let's see if he gets out well. Sometimes have a few issues in the middle part of the race, but pretty good. Medalist from last year's Olympics, and Cordell Tench, fastest time in the world this year. Ridiculously fast too. Trey Cunningham. All right, Shemansky there. This should be good. The weather tomorrow seems like it's going to be much better in Miami, not Miami, in Philadelphia when I checked. Well, not much better. It's going to be 67 as the high, but it shouldn't have any rain tomorrow. So hopefully the conditions are better for the athletes. Last slam, Cunningham outclassed the field. Can he do it today? It's a really good slot there. Roberts, a really good slot as usual. Coyle Tish working his way back into it. And Tinch looks like he's going to win this. Cunningham is moving too, but it's going to be Coyle Tinch, it seems like. And someone out in lane 2, 13:06. But Britt was running good outside as well. Britt may have won this. They actually did give it to Britt. Oh my. They gave it to Britt here. I may be sharing the wrong screen, guys. Let's see this again. It looks like yeah, Brit all the way over there. No, we didn't. I wasn't even paying attention to him. Cordell came out not as good as you wanted to. Roberts came out well, and he started to hit hurdles, and then Tintra's moving, and then Brit there. Cunningham wasn't having the cleanest of. He hit a few as well here. Yeah, Brit was running really well over there. Not sure why my thing is moving, so I won't share. Really good running there from Brit. I apologize. I never really was even paying much attention to him. So Brit comfortable. Well, not comfortable, but a couple. It's what 1308 to 1310 to 1318, 1330. Yeah. And then Sidney McLaughlin will finish this off. No stranger to Franklin Field. Great high school runner there. Went to school in New Jersey, so she went across to a bunch of pen relays. So we'll see what we get from those women coming up. This should be an exciting race. This should be quick, assuming the women are in good shape. Akira Nugent, they're doing a couple stride outs. So Daniel Williams. You just never know. Williams already a couple times at the Diamond League, won one ahead of Stark when Stark stumbled, and Stark took the one in Shaman afterwards. So yeah, a lot of running too for Daniel this year. Defending champion too as well. So all right, they're ready to go. Megan Tapper, probably the most unfortunate athlete to go 2 world championships straight with the fastest times ever, never to make into a final. Tia Jones, fabulous season for her. Was leading all the way in Miami until Masai took her at the end, just at the very end. Kambunje always a stellar athlete too. Her sister just pulled out of the rest of the season because she got announced that she's pregnant. Yeah. And McLaughlin, Akira Nugent, super talented athlete here. Unfortunate last year as well. Danielle Williams. You give her something, she'll take it from you. And Clemens here. Marshall and Clemens. Surely these women can't let Sydney McLaughlin win this. Surely. It's a clean start there. Really good. Akira Nugent leading here. Really good. Tia Jones running really well. But this Nugent, it seems like Nugent takes that 12:44. Comfortable for the Jamaican. I think it might be Jones second in 12:60. Nugent look really nice there. Really good running from. So it looks like Jones, then Tapper, then Marshall, then McLaughlin at 12:70. Kambunji, that's not. I have to see if she hit a few hurdles, but finishing down in 6 at 12:79. Williams 12:84. That's uncharacteristic of her as well. Clemens 12:98. 12:44, 12:60, 12:66, 12:68. Let's see this again. Sydney got left in the blocks. As you would expect, I don't know what happened to Kambunji there. Danielle doesn't look like she's hitting hurdles either. It's probably just wasn't her day. Well, Akira there, it's like, are you going to come with me? No one could. It's lovely hurdling there from Akira Nugent. A little bit high on a couple of them, but really nice. Oh, Danielle hit the final hurdle there and kind of threw her off as well. So that's the slam, guys. They'll be back tomorrow to complete it. I'll try to be back for another watch along if necessary, if we can. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Well, decent performances, I would say, this evening. You had this was a good performance from Akira Nugent. 12:44. That's an outclass Jones and Tapper there. I also thought Britt ran really well at 13:08 out there in lane 2. Paulina for sure. Really good in her running there at 49.12, outclassing the field, like what I saw from Nikisha Price to start trending down there. So some good stuff there at these Kung Fu Kenny was comfortable. Jefferson probably stand out for me too. Jefferson Wooden running at 21.99. Didn't think she would have outclassed Gabby Thomas, and she did. Dina Asher Smith, season best for her, but thought she would probably run a little bit quicker. So, yeah. Arup too, I thought really good running from him, Mark Arup, especially when the 400 meter when they went out in like 52 and something. I think didn't think they would have run that fast, and 143 for him. A second faster than Josh Howie there. Really, really, really good running. Yeah, some good stuff there. Yeah, really good stuff. Yeah, I'm just do it off the flight to think what are my best performances of the night. Certainly Arop I thought was really good. The Santos look okay, nothing there. Anna Crockwell coming through, but nothing spectacular. I would say for sure Arop would be up there for one of the performances of the evening. Jefferson, Akira Nugent just now. I like that. Paulina for sure as well. Yeah. Not quite sure how to if I had to pick them, but that would be I would put those in my mix right now if I had to pick them like that. Yeah. I don't know what you guys thought. All right. Well, I'm gonna call it because it's been a good track meet. Good hanging out with you guys. Hopefully I'll get to hang out with you some more tomorrow, and maybe we unpack some other things and see what's happening. All right, take it easy. Have a good evening. Bye bye.